All right, folks. We are live streaming from where are we?
My studios.
Your studio in Sacramento?
Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento, California.
We just spent a morning doing video, not stills,
Not stills.
videos.
We were doing a super secret project is what we were doing, right? Don't tell anybody about it.
And it did not involve goats or any animals.
No, not yet. That may happen later. But yeah, so we're doing normally this critique time, which would have been about 90 minutes before this time. Troy Miller and I would have got on and done our critique. My friend here, what's your name?
Tim Engel.
Tim Engel. Tim Engel swung into action and said, after he did this photo shoot with me, said, yeah, he would step in and do the critique. Here we go. All right, we dropped out a little bit. So folks that are watching this, we're doing kind of a balancing act here. So I'm in a MacBook Pro that's not plugged in, but I have half a battery left, and I'm tethered to the iPhone using 5G. So, and we're streaming through Ecamm Live. So there's a lot of things, a lot of points of error that could go wrong.
A lot of things happening in a very small package.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not even gonna touch it. All right.
Right.
So here we go.
So, but no, I like this shot. I love leading lines. It's like I like the fact that this, you know, I have the center ones coming there, and then you know the angles that we play with. Those are nice. I mean, that's a solid image.
Yeah, this is real. I could see this printed big. This is one of those that I'd want to see.
Without a border. I would, if I printed it, I would print without a border.
But you would, if you're gonna put. That's what I was gonna say before we're so rudely interrupted by AT&T. If I was gonna add a border to a shot like this and print it big, you know, online. You know, of course, it's fine, right? But if you're going to print it and hang it in a gallery, I don't want to make the decision for the person that's hanging this on what frame should be on it. I'd want to, put a big, expensive, thick frame on that, you know?
Right, and you'd want to have a matting, I think, on it.
Yeah, and a mat, yeah, for sure, and a mat.
And you could turn it and it'd be a whole nother game.
Oh yeah, or even if you inverted it, it'd look like a ceiling. Yeah, this is really cool, Karen. Good job, really good job. I like it. All right. Coming up next, Steve Van Sickle. He says, my column entry from one of my first outings with the infrared chrome, aerial chrome filter on his full spectrum Fuji. That's a lot of fulls.
What a tech.
A lot of words. That's cool.
That's super cool, yeah.
I really, really like the colors in this shot. I like this shot a lot. So yeah, I like it.
Infrared, every time it comes up, I'm like, I need to try that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I love the idea that it gives such a different, otherworldly feeling to that stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know there's several folks in the community that have kind of started diving into infrared. I have not. I don't know. You know, I want to do infrared. It's just and I have an extra camera body that I could do it.
I may have one too.
With, so there's really no excuse.
Well, maybe we need to get a group rate and send our cameras in.
Yeah, I know Troy Miller has a group rate. I think he has a friend of a friend that could do that.
All right.
I like this shot though. Yeah, I really like this.
No, and even the writer is very interesting. Like, you know, I think when you have somebody looking at a subject, it's a very different feeling than just the subject.
You're right, and it gives it a sense of scale too, so we kind of get a feeling for how big those columns are in the background.
Yep, good stuff today.
Yeah, excellent. All right, coming up next is Eric Pronsky. He says, sunrise at the Jefferson Memorial, the early morning sun seen through the trees is lighting up the columns. He said he brought the shadows on the Jefferson statue, but any brighter didn't look natural. Yep.
Yeah. Look at those edges on that statue. It's cool. Mm-hmm. The warmth of the sun on the face.
Yep. Yeah, this is one of those shots that you might, like all this area out here, I think it serves it. Look at the tyranny right there. It serves it, but like the main thrust of this shot for me is the light coming through onto the statue. Yeah. So like if you accentuate it, how would you accentuate that? Like would you?
Like if I wanted to play the flare more, you mean?
Yeah, and play with this flare down here, shining the light on the statue, and maybe vignette. Maybe a vignette would do it.
A little vignette. You could get into like luminar, and you could put a sun there.
Or hot air balloon or something?
No, just the sun, and it would just like have a little more spectacular.
No, you're serious. Yeah, you totally could do that.
Right? Absolutely. No, I wouldn't. Like you're just, for the most part, enhancing the sun where it's at.
With luminar, if you did that and you popped a sun in here, is luminar smart enough to occlude the columns? In other words, put
Not
the
in-
sun back there?
Not in the sun,
background?
no. You'd just be getting flare, and you'd be getting.
Okay.
Like,
So you'd have to place it in there.
yeah, and it's like it's already kind of a circle as it is, so it wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. I like this shot a lot. I'm gonna see if I can bring up the chat so we can see what people. Where's the chat? Here it is. Right there. Cool. Okay. Amy's in there. Yeah, look at all the people in here. All my friends are in the chat. Hey, everybody. All right. Let's continue on. Amy Brooks is up next, who's in the chat. The remains of the temple of Hadrian, now the exterior of the Roman Stock Exchange. Oh, cool.
Interesting.
This is how
Oh wow, and the person's kind of solid in there.
I love this. What abstract. I mean, this is
Yeah.
intentional blur. I love it. We don't see that a lot. You don't see a whole lot of intentional blur, motion blur. We see it in motion, in motorsports shots and that kind of thing.
There's times in people stuff, but even but landscapes you definitely don't.
Yeah, and look how sharp the person is down here. That's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
very cool.
This is cool. I like this. Definitely fits with the
I mean,
theme.
this to me changes it from like if this had been totally solid, it's okay. But now this is like you could print this. This is a print, and I'm more interested in like this with an abstract like that than I think if it was solid.
Yeah, and we have our border on there too. See, I want to hear what you guys think about borders. We're gonna have a conversation on a Friday. Member,
It'd almost be like a border war.
a border. Yeah, we are. We're gonna have a border war. Yeah, photographers without borders. We're gonna call
right.
it. Amy, I love this. This is really cool. My only comments on this are that the things that catch my eye are when I see something like this with very strict kind of geometric repeating patterns in there, I'm looking at the lines here on the left
And the
and
top.
on the right, and this at the top looks like it might be a little bit shifted, a little bit, and then I look down here, this looks straight. So I don't know if that's intentional or
Part
what.
of the blur dilemma.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, this is really slick. I like it. It's very clean. All right, yeah, this is a cool shot. I like it. This is cool too. So
Didn't
Nora,
we just have a discussion of this?
we did the mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah. These rock formations. Thank you, Nora, for submitting this. This one is interesting. When I saw this one, the overall image is very muted and somewhat monochromatic or unsaturated, and then you have this pop of
Pops of
color.
two people, yeah.
Yeah, which is like your eye just goes right down there, and instantly you have it. Without those people in there, you wouldn't have a sense of scale. For the
Right.
most part, with the people in there, now you have that pop of color,
Sure.
that anchor in that lower third, and and a sense of scale of how big these rock formations are.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. I like that. What did you change on this? Anything?
It's hard to say without looking at it bigger. I always would love, but this isn't a change thing. This is just something that I wish I had some cloud texture sometimes.
Yeah, just a little bit of cloud in here.
Yeah. I think it's, it's a great shot.
Or a Luminar hot air balloon right there.
I don't know why you have to do hot air balloons. Why is it always a hot air balloon?
I'm stuck on that hot air balloon. It looks great.
I've never put a hot air balloon in an image.
Now you will.
Just for you.
Yeah, put it in there just for me. Cool. All right. Yeah, I really like this. I like this a lot. I want to do some shots like this. I'm going to Iceland later this year. I want to be able to head over there. I know we have what is it? The location here on the coast that
Yeah, I
has
don't
this
know the name of it.
rock formation. So maybe I want to go there and Iceland and get both of them. But I like that.
I think going both places is the bet.
That is the deal right there.
Any chat?
What are you folks saying here? Yes. Yep, I love it. This is really cool. Amy says, thanks for the feedback. Practicing with this idea of blurring the buildings but keeping the people unblurred. Yeah, Amy, I'm curious how you did that.
So that's a post thing?
Yeah. I mean, you could do it with a mask. It's Photoshop, right? You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Photoshop?
Rarely.
It's really cool.
I think I still have it loaded.
Look.
I put a floppy disk in the other day and I had it on there.
Yeah. Remember we used to have to install Photoshop from like 20 disks?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just like feeding floppies in.
Yep, those are the days. All right, Mark Charette's up next. He says, columns beneath the Earth's crust. Jenolan Caves just west of the Blue Mountains, New South Wales, Australia.
Wow.
All right, let's take a look.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It
look at
almost
that.
looks like a figure somehow with a robe.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally does. Yeah, this is another one of those that's like question mark. Like, should this be black and white or not? I think I like it color because it gives more of a warm, molten feel to it.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing what black and white did
Yeah.
because it has such interesting tonal range.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like this, I almost feel like I'd still pull down a little bit. I want to get rid of the black on the edge
Yeah, right here.
and then maybe pull down a tiny bit on the top and see what that does. It's just like this abstract.
These shots, kind of like what we talked about with Nora's shot. This shot is cool shot, but sense of scale. I don't know how big it is or how little it is. If there was something in here to kind of tell me that this is...
To me, it's all about the texture and the shape.
Yeah.
It's not about scale necessarily.
Yeah, size matters. All right, moving right along. Mark Charette, thank you for that. That's a cool shot. Excuse me, that is a cool shot.
We all have to go to Australia and he can take us there.
Here's some columns from Craig Samfley. He calls these the windy columns. Look at that.
Look at that border. Look at that big border.
Yeah, see, like getting heavy. This is the Troy Miller influence right here. I think. But it works. It works on this one, and I love the intentional use of motion blur to show that these guys actually spin. That's really cool. It feels like
I like square.
Is it like a stop dark or something? I feel like it's a little bit like
muted.
half a stop dark. Or maybe the contrast could be popped up a little bit. I don't know.
It's a slow shutter speed, and I don't know.
Yeah, I like the composition of it. I like the composition. It's very simple. Sky, windmills, foreground, right?
Big border, yeah.
Big border, right? Yep, yep.
That's
Craig
a big
Stanfley, you're going to have to explain yourself about this border.
That's a big border.
But like even, in all seriousness, this shot, the border works on this shot if it's destined for online only.
Yeah.
But in the real world, I definitely want a physical border on these. You know? It's
It took a second even to realize that there's these other ones down in the
down below.
distance.
Yeah. The Where's Waldo.
Next time we can hook up the big screen.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. We'll do a group live critique with an audience.
There you go.
In the studio. All right, Craig Stanfley, thank you. All right, let's see more comments. James Glennie, Columns of Comfort. Now the simplicity, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what could this, you know what I see when I first look at this? Cigars.
I thought cigars.
You thought
actually,
cigars too? Yeah.
Yeah, that or pipes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, and I love the fact that this is sharp, because you're definitely hunting and looking around, kind of trying to explore the image.
Mm-hmm. And we're soft over here, right? So we're soft, sharp,
Text
sharp, soft.
Yeah.
So which means this is kind of in a an apex formation, I'm guessing, because these are falling off over here, and this one is sharp. So this is closer to camera than these are, I'm guessing. I don't know. But the fact that we're trying to guess
Sure,
makes this abstract successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has interest. Trying to explore it.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. This is really cool. I want to know did he say where? Let me see. No, just Columns of Comfort. James, I'm wondering what is this and where is it?
And how is that comfortable?
That's a mighty uncomfortable bed you got there, James Clooney. Yeah. All right. Look at this. Fills up with the close-up abstract.
Oh.
Yeah, look at him throwing the gauntlet down.
Nice.
Now this one I look at, I think strength. Like all the weight resting from this thing on this block down here. I don't really feel like I need anything in this shot to give me a sense of scale because I feel like I already have it. Even if this is small, right? It feels large and substantial and heavy when I look at it. Yeah. And when you really look at it, it's just a series. This is almost like an art study project. It's just it's just shadows, shading and shadows.
Yeah, because you're going in the shadow line down at here. You're going highlight, lighter here, shape here, gradient through here, lighter, gradient into here.
Yep, yep. You could almost recreate this from scratch in Photoshop if you had some, you had
3D skills.
Well, not even 3D skills, because this is.
Oh, you mean like adding the shadows?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, this is just radial gradients and texture.
Heck, just Lightroom.
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, the new Lightroom. Yeah, you totally could. Yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. Yeah, this is really clean.
It's a good interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely in the vein of columns. Really cool. Really cool. All right. Stephen Sharf's up next. He says Artesia, columns 1. Have you heard of this? This winery, Arteza Winery? I've never heard of that.
I don't drink wine.
You don't drink wine?
I don't.
That's what's wrong with you.
No.
Wine will keep you alive or living longer. Okay, this is cool. Now I need to go to this winery. Steven, you're going to have to let us know or give us the address to this winery. I kind of want to go now. This looks cool. Well, you could go. You just don't drink
I can go.
wine.
I'll take pictures.
Yeah, and drink grape juice. We'll bring you some Welch's.
I'll bring my water.
Or bring water. There you go. I'll bring water too. I'll just have some old grapes in it. What do you think of the shot?
No, the gradients are very cool on this too. It's like the sky gradient's nice. I feel like I see ghosting around the here.
Around
A little bit.
the statue?
Some, yeah.
I don't see that. Maybe you have better eyes than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I like the depth of it. It's like the landscape, and it has this like, cement and metal. I mean, like the textures are very interesting into like woods and hills and.
Yeah, a shot like this I look at and I think technically competent. It's technically competent, but I'm looking for the subject of this. In the case of this, the entire thing could be the subject, right?
Sure.
If you were shooting this for this winery, the winery wants this view of the property, and that makes sense. From an abstract perspective, or no, not abstract, but from a photographic perspective, I start looking for the subject. Yeah. Obviously, if the client says the subject is the whole thing, then it's a win.
Yeah, because you kind of look at the foreground and some of that stuff, and then back to the center.
Yeah, because I get drawn to this middle guy here, and I'm
Right.
curious about what that is. I want to know more about it. These here are kind of interesting. Including the sidewalk in there at this oblique kind of 35-degree angle or whatever here, that kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Sure.
I want to see more of this water. The interesting things to me are these column things here, whatever those are, this thing, and then the rolling hills of vineyards in the background.
Almost interesting if you come in and go down low, and where you're using that as this massive like scale and eliminate some of that.
Yeah, or shoot it more perpendicular so these aren't at an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, again, we're armchair quarterbacking, right? Because who knows what was there when Steven shot this.
Right, and it could have been very well for a client, and that's what they wanted.
Yep. Still could use a hot air balloon right here.
All right, well, I'll work on that.
I think I got to make the topic of an upcoming critique balloons. I feel it coming.
Right, it'll just be add a balloon to an image somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've gone through all of them. You have a favorite in all of these?
Yeah, scroll back up.
All right.
I have a couple favorites, I think, but let me see.
You can only have one favorite child. Come on.
I'm torn between, go down. I'm kind of into Karen's.
Which one was
You went by it already.
I passed it? Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm into Karen's. I like the Amy's, but I think this one to me, like.
Okay, you're our guest critic.
I
give you the last word.
I spend the most time on this one, so I think this is my fave.
Yeah. All right, Karen Sweeney, you are the next contestant. No, you win. I like it too. This one's really cool. Really cool. So what do you have coming up? What do we have coming up next?
What's next week's?
Next week's, let's take a look. Photo critiques.
Any questions or chats?
I'll pull that up. So we just did this one. So the 21st is going to be arches.
Arches.
So we'll see what you guys come up with arches. And let us know, I think the stream looks good. I don't know. Can you guys see it okay? Is it coming through? Let's see. Yeah, Amy says, talking about Stevens. Yeah, I think it would be cool to have just 3 columns and the water and get rid of the rest. Yeah, there's like 20 different shots in there that you could pull out, with the vistas, depending on the gear you have and, your creativity. Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, Jim says you're going to be the designated driver.
That's fair. That's fair.
And bodyguard. They give you a bodyguard too. So.
Is there anything else you want to talk about with what you're doing with your cameras now?
Are you trying to put me on the spot?
No.
You trying to put me on the spot? Well, you can put me on the spot because these people have given me crap to no end about all my dreams and aspirations and never following through on them. So yes.